Wow, you really left the best part of this episode for the payment. That's
I mean,
brilliant.
we
Because
gotta-
I can tell. That was like, that's the part that like, whoa,
This is the
Maria gets to
juicy.
talk about the TikTok advice. Purchase.
Let's go. Ready? Okay, so we're going to talk about each of these. Okay, so this is, do we give out the name?
I don't think
It's not necessary.
We can because it's picture.
Right. I'm. Here's what we're doing. They've put out this dating advice. We are here with a matchmaker. I've talked about dating and relationships, I think, in a reasonable way for a decade.
Yeah.
We have thoughts, and
Yeah.
then TikTok comes out, and it's as if the world was created in 2020, and
Yeah.
people talk on dating in a way that, to me and to you, I would assume, but you could please disagree with me if you'd like. It gets talked about in a way that will go viral.
Yeah.
You notice
There's
that.
also people that are suddenly, like I have colleagues who are on TikTok just like I'm on TikTok.
Right.
But then there's a whole new band of matchmakers and dating coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not certified. There's no mentorship. Because like, I think you'll see that all of the professional matchmakers that at least I personally trust and work with,
Yeah.
we all have a mentorship program. Like there is someone who kind of takes you under their wing in the beginning. Like I have a few mentors, and you know, and also many colleagues that, you know, we collaborate with. And then suddenly you have these silos on TikTok where it's like, I'm a matchmaker. And I'm like, I've
Right.
never heard of you. And that's okay. I don't need to know everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, do you belong to the GLI? Do you belong to the Alliance? Do you go to any of the conferences? Like, there is
So-
an industry here.
But this industry, there's checks and balances.
Right.
So, like, if someone was acting in a, and again, listen, I am someone who talks out of their ass about dating. But I guess where I'm trying to, like, differentiate myself is when you do it on a podcast, you can hear the,
Well, it's
the
not a
honesty and
60-minute viral clip. You have to have a fully thought out response.
Right. And I think when people go on TikTok to give dating advice or go on TikTok to say anything,
Right.
they're like, what's the thing that'll make, if their goal is number one to make it pop off, then it is not, the consumer is not in mind.
I don't even know what clips you're going to show me, but just to preface
We haven't shown you.
All right, but just to preface this, right? The content that I see that goes really well is the content that talks about compatibility from a transactional standpoint. And that's not, there are people that look for that in a relationship. There are cultures and there are people who
Explain that a little bit more.
you know, for instance, all I care about is financial compatibility where he makes more money than me and he's going to pay for the
Right.
life that I desire and I don't want to work. And there are people who have grown up this way from, you know, maybe they saw that from their parents and they want that too. And there are men who want to provide that, and that's fine, right? I'm not talking about those people because those people are not online telling you what to do here, right?
Well, there's no money on that.
Right. What I'm saying is that, but there are people out there who do start off with the advice of like, they'll say stuff like how to attract a high value man, how to be a high value woman. And it's like, when you say high value, the definition for these specific people is almost revolving around a high value man being really financially successful, no matter what. That doesn't mean he'll be able to equally parent with you or provide
Right.
emotional equity.
Right. And
Right?
there's a little bit, there's what you're also trying to do, whether they want to admit it or not, is to get someone angry.
Right.
Is to get someone angry enough that you consider this to be high value. So because you say you love chocolate, you must think that vanilla
Right.
is low value.
Right.
And I am in the vanilla group. So you get people enraged, and
Right.
a TikTok video
Right.
needs two sides of an argument.
Right.
So again, your goal is to kind of fuck with people.
Right.
When you come out and go, a high value man, when you speak in certain I talked about this on Patreon I made 2 TikToks.
Right.
One was about how the game was on Peacock. The football game was on Peacock.
Right.
Remember that? It was
Yeah.
right after the holidays, the New Year. And I said the final level of hanging with your parents, or I said we've just gotten through the holidays with our parents.
Right.
The final level is getting your dad on Peacock to watch the football game.
It's tough.
And that was like the down the middle joke about like, yeah, you got to like, this is your last thing you have to do for the holidays to deal with your parents.
Now you started the week with you trying to get their Wi-Fi to work. You're going to end it with them logging into Peacock. It makes sense.
There it is.
The bookends.
The bookends. So then that video did fine on TikTok.
Right.
I made a second one.
Okay.
The second one was, hey, boomers, if you can't get the game on Peacock, then maybe you should have less faith in your own. You should have less confidence in all of your other opinions. I think that one did very well because it is aggressive. It is just by nature of saying, hey, boomers.
Oh, yeah.
You're now in a fight. And
Right.
and it's just an interesting case study. Like I'm saying this as someone who puts things out there.
Right.
That you might be a watcher. If you're watching at home, you're watching us now.
Right.
You might be someone I'm just telling you, this is how the world is working on this thing.
Right.
This is what gets attention. So when I see dating advice stuff, there's a way to say it where you go, hey, who should pay for the first date? You go, well, you should do whatever you'd like to do, whatever makes you feel comfortable. That ain't going viral.
What's going viral, and I actually love her. I'm not even saying anything remotely bad here about her. Is Shira Stevens, Sprinkle Sprinkle? Do you know who she is?
I'm not familiar.
My obsession. What I love about her though, so she basically her advice. She's not a dating coach. She's not a matchmaker. She's just a TikTok personality and YouTube who gives women advice on how to financially center almost all conversations.
Okay.
And to me, it's like if you take away the finance part, essentially she's establishing boundaries. So when a guy comes to you and says, I want to build something with you, or what do you have to bring to the table?
Do guys say this?
Yeah, guys, I've had men say this to me. What do you, if you want me to pay for this date, what do you bring to the table? And I'm like, bitch, I did everything shower.
Said?
Yeah.
I mean, that's to me. How is that date? Like, I don't know. That's a foreign concept to me.
Right, but
what do you bring to the table?
There are men who will say, a woman will say, well, I expect you to pay for all of our dates, which again, that's okay if you think that, right?
Sure.
And they'll be like, well, once we're dating, I expect 50-50.
Okay.
And Shira will say stuff like, no, like that's not, do you think this is 50-50? Are you going to start being 50-50 on my nails? Are you going to start being 50-50? Like you want to go out with me.
I understand. She's finding ways to say to you, like, if a man is to say this to you, they're not really capturing the idea of what it takes for a woman to get ready for a date. If you're having this conversation in the beginning of a date, what's going to happen when we're in a relationship? Is it 50-50? I'd be like, we're fucked.
Let me tell you something though. The guy who's insisting on 50-50 almost always is not the guy who wants to date the woman who's 50-50.
Right.
I need you to understand what I'm saying here, okay?
I think
a woman who is low maintenance, and bless her, that's fine. You can be, which by the way, most women are not low maintenance to the standards that men define it. Okay.
Sure.
Let me just finish this thought for a second because I think
please.
it's really important for some people to hear, especially for your male audience. Okay. When a man tells me I want a woman who's low maintenance, I want a woman who doesn't wear makeup. If I showed him what a woman looks like who does not wear makeup, he's not going out with her. He's talking about light makeup. Right. And the fact is that we are forced as women to buy makeup because when we don't wear makeup, it is a political statement.
Sure.
Right. That's what happens.
Yeah. And I agree with what you're saying. And I also agree with the idea that like the guy who's like having this discussion when it comes up.
He's going to want her to be hot. He's going to want her to be X, Y, Z.
To me, that's a guy who looks at things in transactional ways.
Right.
Where I don't really believe that he's looking to go out with someone who's not considered by society to be jewelry.
Listen,
as
if
a
you
person.
can't
like,
afford...
so that can't be true. Both can't be true at the same time.
Exactly. And look, the way you could do this, right? Like, look, when I met my husband, he was an academic. He was not making a lot of money. I was making more money than him. Somehow he managed to pay for all of our dates. But don't think for a second that there weren't times where I was like, we never did 50-50. I don't like the sound of two plastic cards sitting together. Okay. But there were times like, babe, I got it. And I would just put my card down. Like, we'll just put one card. There's a way to do 50-50 without having plastic together.
Totally. And there's a way to do it without having a list out that marks a line next to who paid what. But that's the thing. Like, to me, more people are
the idea of a waiter
but the idea,
coming out to take a card and then like, okay, 50% now, 50, like,
This conversation, though, I think gets had more than it gets actually had between two people who are enjoying each other's company.
That's right.
So I think when we talk about like look, who should pay, who should not, like it gets so
fantasy
politicized.
land.
It's fantasy, right?
Yeah.
We're creating straw men.
Right.
Like the guy who's on the date going, well, what do you bring to the table? Like the date's over. You're not going to be like, okay, want to come over after that conversation? It's over. You guys aren't a match.
Table? Yeah. Like, get the hell out of here.
Let's go to this dating advice. Okay, here's the first one. Do we agree or disagree?
The only relationships that will last long term successfully are as followed. When the man loves the woman way more than the woman loves the man, or when the man and women love each other equally. And the common denominator here is that the man has to be fully fucking invested. The thing is, that lopsided relationship where the woman loves the man more is going to fail because she is putting in overtime. Women will always put in effort in the relationship to make it work, whereas man has to feel fully invested in the relationship in order to make the changes necessary, in order to communicate effectively, in order to put work into the relationship. If you're a woman watching this and you are stuck on that crusty, dusty ass man, this is your sign to take your energy back. Put it back into yourself. Put it back into someone who is going to treat you like the fucking queen that you are.
Oh, this is, what do you think of that one?
There's no science that says what she said, but I don't think it's because I think it's because she's using the wrong vocabulary. Look, now you're asking a professional matchmaker. You're not asking Maria anymore, right?
This is why I wanted your opinion.
So long-term compatibility is determined on a few factors. I can understand why this is a viral clip.
Right. This is something she should have said in the mirror to herself while dating the guy that she was giving more to than was giving to her.
Right.
Like, to me, this was said for her. Like, this isn't advice. This is her.
It's a pep talk.
A pep talk to her past self for making the mistakes that she made.
Right.
She was giving too much to someone that wasn't giving anything to her. And now she gets to come on here, those crusty, dusty men. And it's like, she gets to tell you you're a queen. And to me, it's like, ugh. Like, this,
Yeah,
I understand why it's viral.
Right.
But, like, I don't buy her as my guide in the dating game.
You know, long-term compatibility is heavily dependent on you having similar core values, identical moral compasses, and also your ability to like read each other when you need to be read, like a ping, for instance.
You know, and it's so funny that I'm sorry to interrupt because what you're saying is like, even the way you're saying this, it can't go viral.
I know.
And
it's what people need to hear.
But what you're saying.
But I'll give you.
This is, to me, this is a
Fine,
woman trashing.
I'll give you the soundbite that could go viral.
Sure.
Right? What I think she's trying to say is that the word that she's misusing here is love. No one in the history has ever divorced because of lack of love. They've always divorced because lack of like. You're not doing likable shit. You don't like each other, you're going to divorce. I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way you spend money. I don't like the way you parent. Whatever it is, I can't date that person. Right? But to be likable, you also have to have hobbies. You have to have a lifestyle. You have to do things. Like, this is why I end my podcast at each episode, be lovable, but more importantly, be likable. Because that's the shit that's going to get you into a relationship. That's the shit that's going to keep you in a relationship and keep you happy.
Right. To me, yeah. This is all sauce. There's no substance to, like what makes a person likable. Having hobbies, having things they like to do, having friends, having people that they trust in, people that they give their time to.
Nobody likes a narcissist.
Right. Let's do another one. Okay.
Every day before work, I go to this coffee shop. There's this really cute girl there that I want to talk to, I just want to know if you have a one-liner that, I could ask her out.
Sideburns.
No, don't do that.
Talk
the sideburns are crazy.
Just walk up to her and say, hey, listen, I'm spending just about every extra dollar I have. I'm in here, I'm drinking coffee I don't even like. I'm doing this only because I just want you to wait on me.
Oh, shut
I don't want to be too forward.
No.
But it would mean the world to me if you would just tell me your name. The next day, call her name and say, now, it would mean even more to me if you knew my name.
What's the music?
The third day, nothing.
I want you to do this. I really want you to do this.
Just tell me your name. I come in here every day with my last dollar to get my Frappuccino. Tell me your name. It's too much.
Sometimes, look,
I'm a Steve Harvey fan.
Are you a Steve Harvey fan?
Yeah,
I love Steve Harvey. I think he's great.
I've seen some parts of his book, like Get
Parts
Out There,
of his
and
books are pretty good.
It's pretty good. He's giving great
Right?
advice. The music to me, whoever made this is like crying in a den alone.
Listen, Steve Harvey is one of my heroes. I think some of his advice is like boom on the target, and then some of his advice, I'm like, dude, what decade are you talking about right now?
This feels very old man.
This is Archie coded again.
Yeah. You're right. This
At
is
the
very.
soda shop.
This should be in a black and white Mayberry. You go tell that woman you want to know her name, and the next day you go back in. Like no. The next day she's gone. She's at a different coffee place. She's like, someone's been following me. Someone's been stalking me. They have long sideburns that they don't tend to.
This is the plot line of like half of Italian cinema that came out in the 80s.
Let's do another one. Best dating tip.
Let's hear it.
So I know this
Here's
person.
my best dating tip for you, especially if you seem to fall for a dude very, very quickly after you've met them. Okay. It's easy to like somebody when you're out and you're drinking and it's sexy and you're at dinner and da-da-da-da-da. It's like going on The Bachelor and being in a fucking paradise. No shit, you're going to have a great time. You have no problems.
Okay.
But if you think you like somebody, I want you to do one of two things.
What?
Once you feel comfortable doing so, go away for 2 nights.
What?
See how somebody is going to bed, waking up, no alcohol, no pretty lights, no fun.
Wait, go away. Want to trip? Is she saying travel with
them?
Once you feel comfortable, go travel with them. Okay, and then what? And then what's the dating tip?
Alternatively, try going and running errands with this person. See how they handle tense situations. See how they handle day-to-day shit. Not just the best version that they put themselves forward, which is going out for drinks.
This is not a dating tip. This is a
act
should I get married to this guy tip. And what she's really describing is the IKEA trick.
Right.
Like go to IKEA.
And see how it goes.
Yeah.
This
That's not a
person
dating tip.
messaged me for advice, said they were the biggest fan of my podcast ever, came to shows and unfollowed me on everything.
Did you follow her back?
There's nothing to follow. She just repeats shit that I've said in the past. You know, this is like, I did the IKEA thing. I would talk about it on The Bachelor all the time. I'd say, I did a whole joke about they should go to IKEA and build a couch together, then see if they want to fuck. That should be the reality
the
suite.
IKEA test.
She was at that show. You know, it's like this person, it references me sometimes and then asks me to come on their podcast. I'm like, you never tag me. It's just a bizarre, I have this weird relationship with this person because
have you ever
they're
done
a
the
huge
IKEA
fan.
test on anyone?
No, I would never
I've
go to
done it.
IKEA.
Oh.
I'm calling
Excuse
TaskRabbit.
me, room and restoration hardware.
Yeah,
over
I'm
here.
gonna be who I am. The test is, you want to go to IKEA? I don't think we're a match. I don't think we're decorating the same house. I'm moving on. I am who I am.
The first time, I didn't know it was an IKEA test yet, right? Because we didn't have internet. Like internet, it was different times back in 2005. But IKEA had just opened in Greece. So I was living in Athens at the time, and my boyfriend at the time, we were at the end of this relationship, but I knew it was going to end when we got to the end of, like, I had to refurnish my apartment. So we did the whole IKEA thing. It was a really nice day. We get to the end. He goes, I'm going to pay for all of it. And I was like, oh, we're breaking up tonight. And we did.
Well, what about him paying for all of it?
Because it was because we had just had this massive fight a few days before. And I knew, like, it was a year in. I was like, I could tell, like, this isn't working for me. This isn't working for him. I think this was a way of him, like, saying, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And
so
then, like,
the transactional nature of the I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would understand that if someone was at IKEA, I was like, I'm paying for all of it. I'd be like, fuck, I'm stuck in this another 6 months. And then I would feel my heart beating out of my chest. And I'd go, Jared, your body is telling you to end
No,
this.
I knew the moment he said that. And I was happy because I was like, oh, finally, we're being adults. Like, he was like, okay. And then he went home. He helped me put everything together. And then he said goodbye.
Oh, he bought it for you.
Yeah.
Not even him living there.
No, he wasn't living. It was paid like 240 euros.
Even still, like,
which at the time, at the thing, it was like $360. Okay, like,
yeah, but this isn't drinks. This is
right.
him buying you a living room. Like, I'd be like, I don't need my living room to be owned, sponsored by Jamie. Let's do another one.
Oh God, no.
This is my theory. When men meet you in a romantic setting, they put you in a box. Either they want to date you, they want to sleep with you, or they want nothing to do with you. It's very difficult to shift from box to box. And your behavior doesn't really affect what box you're in to a guy. So if he meets you and he's like, I want to date this girl, you could puke on his shoes and sleep with him on the first night and it wouldn't matter. Vice versa, if he meets you and he just wants to hook up, you could make him wait 3 months to sleep with you. It's not going to change that. Women are so different. Meet a guy and we're like, oh, he's just for fun. And then 3 weeks later, we're sitting down to brunch with our friends being like, so I'm thinking about Tuscany for our wedding. Developed this theory because for the years I've noticed with me and my friend, it doesn't matter when you decide to sleep with someone. And I get asked this question all the time. Tinks, how long should I make him wait? What about the 3-date rule? What about the 5-date rule? Sleep with him when you are ready. Waiting to sleep with someone doesn't guarantee that he's going to view you as relationship material. Again, sleep with him when you are good and ready. That's the only thing that matters. And don't worry about it.
The premise, like as someone who promotes a 12-date theory, but I also have the whole phase, theory. Like,
so the 12-date theory is
there's a method.
12 interactions with someone in person.
No.
It can be FaceTime.
Yeah, so 12
text doesn't
12-date rule method. Texting is not dating. Texting does not even count. 12-date rule method is you have to have essentially 12 interactions with someone. Try to wait 12 times before having sex. A date to me is a phone call, a video call, or in-person date that's at least 20 minutes, maximum 3 hours, and you can have up to 2 dates in one day. And 3 of those 12 should be in person. And what you want to discover in that period is, do you even like this person, right? What she is saying here is that, like, the notion that a woman is waiting 3 dates so that the guy can look at her as relationship material, right? So, like, let's take away the boxes. I don't really care about how men feel about you.
Sure.
All right. What I care though about is that you not getting drunk on oxytocin too soon with someone that you think you could have spent a life with, when he is telling you things that are like, you know, I don't believe in titles, or let's just see where this goes, or whatever thing it is that convinces you first, second date in, yeah, of course, let's just see how it goes. But in your mind, you're really thinking, wait until he sees how much fun I am. Wait until he sees how good at blowjobs I am. Wait until he sees how great of a cook I am. Then he'll change his mind, right? I don't, like, what happens is oxytocin is a real thing that happens to a person when they cuddle, when they have sex, when they have physical intimacy. And you get drunk on it. And when you get drunk on it, you put up these blinders, right? The blinders, rose-colored glasses. The problem with rose-colored glasses, pink flags are invisible. Red flags are hard to see.
Yeah, I when I hear this advice, it makes me sad. Do
you
know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I haven't even gotten to that part where, like, a man is putting you in a box. I don't think men are, first of all...
The idea that I like... Also, you
can't move boxes,
right? It's basically that no one's trying to get to know you. Yeah, and it's like,
it is what it is.
It's you know, this is just, you know, and it's a way to be like, I don't know. It's, to me, it's like someone with low confidence.
When that came,
it's a low power advice to me, because it's like, how about, you know, just like you're saying, like, where is your feelings on this person taken into account? Where's your connection with them?
And when you do,
it's very backwards. It's they're only, and the idea that, like, you know, the guy that's trying to fuck you, like, I don't think it's as sinister as it's being made to seem. Like,
right. And when I also tell people a 12-date rule, there's gonna be people who disagree, and that's fine. Don't do it. Right. But also, you're not supposed to get to 12 dates with everyone. Which, by the way, when I say 12 dates, we're not like Maria date math here. Okay, like very different types of dates here. That we're talking 20-minute FaceTime call.
That to me is
talking about 2 weeks here.
Right. And here's the thing. What you're doing is you're getting this person to like put in time and effort for you, and giving you the opportunity to go, wow, they won't do the FaceTime. Why does it take so long for us to do a FaceTime?
Right. But also, and I think this is the most important thing, how many of your listeners, and same with my listeners, how many of our listeners have accidentally fallen in love with someone via text? You're texting.
Yeah.
Texting is not dating.
Well, what it does is it creates a goal that you're like, I'm trying to get to this.
Dude,
1 of 12, 2 of 12, 3 of 12, 4. You know, the texting doesn't matter as much at that point.
I don't know. For me personally, like, I remember when I was single, certain texts from guys, even if it was just like, hey, I was just thinking about you, it got me excited. It got me like, it stirs up an emotion that is uncontrollable.
And a text is a gift. You open it up, you see what's inside. Sometimes it's a sweater, sometimes it's something cool.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that is the thing of the ping hitting you. Let's do one more.
You ordered an appetizer that I didn't even touch. What?
Welcome to the Daddy Academy. Okay, a lot of you guys tagged me in this video, so I'm gonna respond. Okay, men pay for the dates, right? I don't know if this video is a bit, I don't know if it's a joke, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna assume that it's not a joke. If you want a guide as to how to never get laid ever again as a man, do exactly what this guy does in that video. Follow it to a T, and I can guarantee you, you will never get laid ever again. I know a lot of you young guys are watching these podcasts and are telling you, split the bill until she proves that she's a woman who... Split the bill, right? You want to split the bill? Okay, go ahead and split the bill. But I want you to listen and watch how that guy sounds when he's explaining to the woman that he is splitting the bill and why he's splitting the bill, okay? Probably one of the cringiest, most horrible things I've ever watched in my life. Makes me actually want to throw up. Makes me want to throw up. So if you want to split the bill, okay, split the bill. Because what's going to happen is she's going to go home. She's going to delete your number. She's never going to talk to you again. And then she's going to match with a daddy energy man who's going to take her out. She's not going to lift a finger. She's not going to touch the bill. Like, she's not even going to sniff the bill. She can't even sniff it, okay? And then she'll go on to date him. And then she will tell all of her friends about you and how you are the worst date she's ever been on.
She's not wrong.
What's that?
She's not wrong.
It's not about being wrong. I think, like, I don't know what podcasts are out there telling you to split that are telling you with the energy he gave to pay for the like.
You know what it is? It's
he's branded. There's a branding thing going on here
Yeah.
where he's daddy energy and all this shit. I look at that guy and I'm like, I don't know who disagrees with you. Now there might be someone like there's a straw man argument being built.
Right.
Because there's no podcast giving the same energy that he gave to paying the date to split the bill.
Right.
When people say they want to split the bill, it's usually women who are like, you know what, I want to let the guy know that I'm like backing off this. Can we split it? Or, you know, it's usually people going, you know, if I had an okay time, I don't want to like give a signal that I'm like, you know, let's split the bill. It's never like you should split the bill. I don't think that advice exists out there.
No, I don't think it does either.
Right. So like what he's doing is taking a very easy, like, you know, route to, you know, towards, the advice of like, should you pay? You should do what makes you feel great. This guy obviously feels great when he pays for someone because they're not even going to sniff the bill.
But I don't know. God. I don't even know if the first guy, the guy that was like, I didn't touch the appetizer and I had to pay it.
Right.
Like, does that feel good explaining that?
No, I don't think, I think he's doing that.
There's no foresight. There's also, listen.
I think he's doing that because he's basically like, at that point when you're bartering at the end of the date in the car, you're
just trying to defend your own character now.
It's a pride thing. You have your
What's
ego.
crazy is
It's
that
ego.
he filmed it and then he posted it. And I think that's what I always have to kind of remind myself. I also just want to add a little parentheses here, right? All this content that we're seeing, including that guy in the car who's like, I split it, whatever. So when the video is over a minute long on TikTok, it gets monetized. And so, yeah, that may have happened, but that video also got like 17 million views or something. He probably made $130,000 from that.
130,000?
Yeah.
Is that how much it is?
Every time you see a person not wearing, like doing something absolutely batshit in public, and it's over a minute long, they're making money off of that. That's
130,000 for 17 million? That seems high. No?
Fine, even if it's 13,000, let's say it's 10%. He made money off of you.
Yeah, this is the problem. He
paid his wherever he lives. He paid rent for the next 4 months. I'm not saying
know
New York.
Maybe I need to monetize. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm
right.
Not
So you have to think about these things a little bit, like from the place of like, you know, is this person giving? What's the incentive here? This person literally posted themselves filming themselves. He posted it. It wasn't her. It was him.
No, and it's sad to me because he believes. I mean, one, he wants to make the money. This is going to be an extreme video on me trying to split the tab with a woman after a date.
If I wanted to make money right now and I was a single man, I would literally hit up Hinge, pick any woman, be like, let's go on a date. I'm going to show you 10 days, 10 things I hate about you. How to lose a guy in 10 days. Why do we keep fucking this up? How to lose a guy in 10 days. Do one of those things, film it, post it, money.
I would do, if I were a woman, I would just go on and be like, well, I mean, like, what? Remember that guy, the Craigslist, not the Craigslist, the IKEA guy. Back to IKEA. He was No, the couch guy. He worked at the furniture company. And everyone matched with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caleb? Cole, some white guy
Caleb,
named...
but he became...
West Elm Caleb.
Oh,
shit. Dude, I remember you and I actually called each other.
Right.
And we had a conversation about this the day it happened.
Right.
I mean,
no one knows who this guy is. No one's ever...
And you know what it is? Well, you know, I don't know if you remember what I said to you. Because I remember saying it to you. I remember saying, tell me what height he is. Because if he's 6'3", 6'4", duh.
Right.
No shit.
No shit.
Like,
of
course. Because for whatever reason, I'm saying this is a 5'11" woman. Like, there are women under 5'8" who are putting their height parameters 6'2" and up. And they're like, yeah, everyone's swiping on this dude. This guy never developed character because he had a height lottery.
There's some discussion of whether he existed or not.
Do you think this is a West Elm promotional?
He never did the tour. He never went and...
He never came on your couch?
He's invited here anytime. I'd love to talk to him.
West Elm.
But
West Elm got free marketing, though.
They
couldn't ever pay for that.
An invention of West Elm. You never know. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but that was like... When you see that, you make a video of like, this guy and my... I think if you and your friend who got the Valentine's Day...
Oh, yeah.
Message from the same guy.
Yeah.
Made a video about that.
Yeah. And
showed the screenshots that you both had the same text. That's a huge video.
Can we do screenshots then? Do we have smartphones?
Matchmaker Maria, thank you for coming on. This was fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
You are unbelievable. Everyone go follow at Matchmaker Maria. Go sign up for her coaching and matchmaking, everything. So
trips. Come to Greece with me. I'm going to Greece.
Go to Greece. Go to Greece.
I'm being for real. I host 2 girls trips to Greece every summer. Come
they look
down.
like a blast. I always watch on Instagram stories.
You do?
It's like
you hate me.
What are you talking about? I hate you. What are you?
I compete with your beach by noon hashtag.
There's no beach by noon. This is listen. I want the Crete, the white buildings, the donkeys. I'm into it. Yeah. This is great. Everyone go follow Matchmaker Maria. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday. Thank you for being Patreon subscribers. Thanks so much.